Hello my dear students. Now let us try to learn on how to import CSV file. Importing CSV file means that we will create a file in CSV format and then display it in the form of a data frame. We can do that using the read CSV functions of pandas. In the previous video, we already learned on how to use the two CSV function, that means to export data frame in the form of CSV. In the previous video, we already learned on how to create these CSV files. So we already created EMP CSV as well as students records CSV. So now let us try to read this CSV file and display as a data frame using pandas read CSV function. Importing CSV file means reading CSV file and display it in the form of data frame. A CSV file can be read as a data frame using pandas read CSV. So we don't need all these codes, so that's why I am removing these codes, because we will be needing only few of code. So here you can see the directory or the file path here is csv12 emp.csv. So our file name is emp.csv. So now let us try to import this CSV file. So we are using read CSV. As you can see here, this is the file path. So I am copying this file path and paste it here. So we want to read that same file that we created as shown in the previous video and display it as data frame. So that is mean as importing CSV file. So with these few lines of code, we are done with importing CSV file and display it in the form of data frame. So now let us have a look at the output of this program. So here we have the output of the program with employee name, ID, address, salary. You might think from where we are getting all these records. So now let me show to you the CSV file. Here we have emp.csv. As you can see, these are the records in the CSV files, and we read this file from pandas using the read CSV function. Now let me show to you another CSV file of students records. Here we have a file of students records. As you can see, there are many records here. Now let us try to read this students records file and display it using read CSV function of pandas. So we just need only 2 lines of code to do that. So here let us try to read the CSV file students records. Since our file is inside the same directory, let me just copy this directory here. So here we have ecsv12. Now let me rename the file name into students records. So now we want to read students records. After reading emp.csv, we are trying to read students records.csv. So now to display that, we need to use the print function. Make sure that the file path is correct. Whenever you use file path, make sure that it exists. Otherwise, you will not get the output. So now let us try to print the students record. And then let us have a look at the output of the program. As you can see here, with few lines of codes, we are getting such a very long output. It starts from this line. Here we have for EMP CSV. Then after that, we have students CSV. That means the records of students. So first we have employee records, then the students' records. As you can see here, there are only few lines of code, but we got a very long output. Similarly, for employee records, we are getting all the records from the CSV files, and we are displaying it in the form of a data frame, which means that we load the files into Pandas data frame using the read CSV function. My dear students, make sure that while loading CSV files, the file path should be correct. You should specify a correct file path, so you should check it properly. My dear students, that's all about importing CSV file. We will stop here for this topic. Keep learning and keep practicing.